Hello everybody, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel. And I am coming to you with a sort of first impressions flip through of my newest oracle. And this is the Illuminated Earth Oracle by Claire Mack. And this is available on Etsy. I first actually found out about this deck through Samantha Menzo. I will link her channel down below and her flip through first impressions of this deck. And I was probably like 4 cards in when I hit the buy button. I could not believe how stunning this was. And it seemed like the perfect accompaniment or sort of pairing to go with the texture tarot, which is a collage tarot that I've recently acquired that is stunning. I cannot wait to work with it. And so when I saw this, I was like, oh, I have to have you. And I don't find very often that there are oracle decks where I feel like I could just pull them out the same way I would pull out a tarot deck and just read intuitively, like use them in spreads, use them right alongside tarot cards and just not have to think about it. This is one of them. And so I find that oracle decks like this are not necessarily easy to find. A lot of times I see oracle decks as decks that I can pull out for say 2 and 3 card spreads, but something about this one I was like, yes, I could pull you out and do a full spread with you. And I think partly it's the variety in the deck, and you know, partly, I don't know, it's just maybe it's a vibe I get, I don't know. But I have to tell you, when I opened this package, as soon as I opened this box, and it is like a 2-part like sturdy box, inside the artist had put in this really lovely little botanical, I'm going to hold this up so you can see this lovely little botanical gift. I don't know how to describe it. It's really lovely. Let's see if I can figure out how to hold things. There we go. So there's like a little feather. There's like a little bit of a like pine tree or fern, evergreen leaf, I believe. And another botanical bit. I just thought this was so lovely, and I plan to keep it with the deck just so it can sort of imbue its earthly energy in there. I just think that's really pretty. And then there was a little like card that just had a little thank you on the back. IlluminatedEarthOracle.com. I believe I actually ordered this one. I know I said Etsy, but it is available on Etsy. Come on, camera, focus. There we go. But I believe I actually ordered this right off of her website, and I think it saved me a couple bucks in Canada to do it that way. It was like $3 or $4 difference. It does come with a little booklet, and it's not terribly thick. But again, this is not a deck where I feel like you need the booklet, although the booklet is well written. There is a really neat little section here at the back. Let's see, how many pages is this? This is, it doesn't say. It's probably like 15, 20 pages. It's not a lot. But there is in the back a page here that shows that these cards do have essentially like 4 suits. There we go. So the symbol up at the top here, origin, wholeness, completion, and state of being. And then you've got sort of positive cards. And then you've got sort of negative or shadow. And then you have interaction of matter with consciousness. Is that what that says? Interaction of matter with consciousness, human influence, and choice. So there is sort of a suit system in here. I don't know how I will work with that because I think that the cards themselves are very clear about what they are. The card stock is that really smooth, like beautiful, these are the backings, really smooth matte finish, but it feels like it's not going to be sticky matte, if that makes any sense. Really, really beautiful. And I just realized these backings aren't actually reversible because you have the section here that has these lines, and then this triangle doesn't have them. But, I mean, the detail, look at that. Oh, see, now I just have to be more aggressive with holding things up to my camera, I think. If my camera would stop freezing. So I don't know that these are in order because I have flipped through these already, so I'm just going to see. There we go. I don't know. I'm going to repeat myself because I don't know if it caught that while it was frozen. These aren't necessarily in any kind of order because I have flipped through and played with these a little bit already, but I really had to show you the artwork. So this one is called Deluge. And so I'm going to flip through the entire deck. This one is called Tempest, and it's very clearly a storm. All those lightning bolts. And the gold that you see here is slightly foiled or metallic feeling. Reflection. I just feel like this is such a balanced deck. I think the only other deck that I have that's like this is the Oracle of Echoes by Anna Turian, and that one also feels very balanced. But this artwork, it's that sort of collage-y artwork, but yet it's very, there's a lot of texture and color. I love this retreat card. It just gives me this feeling of being shot, like sort of shooting yourself out of a spaceship almost, just to get away, like to get some distance. Yeah, it makes so much sense to me. Dreams. I guess they're a little bit sticky, but I mean, there's so much in every single card. And I don't know, there's something about this color palette too. Air, so there is a card for each element. And it's like, look at the little scene there. Like, it's beautiful. I love this reincarnation card, like with this labyrinth. Isn't that stunning? Yeah, so I have to hold it close for my camera to pick it up. Vulnerability. It's hard for me to not want to like just stare at these every time I pull them out. So I am going to be working with this deck alongside the textured tarot. Transient. All the moon phases. Love Meander. This is so clear to me. That winding path. Yeah, there we go. So pretty. Balance. There we go. These have a very earthy vibe to them, which makes sense. It's called the Illuminated Earth Oracle. Patience. With the crystals, it's just like, oh, it takes time for crystals to develop and to grow and to show their colors. I love this potential card. All this growing. Come on. There we go. All that growing, flourishing, disguise. The skins that we wear, separate. And you see this sort of big structure, and then beneath it, this little one down at the bottom. There's so many layers to this artwork. You can tell that there's been textures overlaid on top of images and paint places, and then other types of art places. It's blended really nicely. I love this with relationship and these two rocks and the spark. How nice is that? Renewal. I will double check how many cards there are in this deck in just a second. There we go. Look at the scene, look at the rainbow. There's literally, I feel like I could almost scry into these cards. There's so much to see in every single one. Release. So I'm holding it close to the camera. Will like go, yes, this is what I'm supposed to pay attention to. Come on. There we go. Release. There we go. So beautiful. Oh, this harmony card with the prism. Oh, there goes my camera freezing on me again. Sorry, guys. I'll give it a second here. There it goes. Okay. I love this with the rainbow and the prism effect. Harmony. Oh, abundance. I think this was actually the first card in the deck originally. Oh, I remember why this is all mixed up, because I had started to try to film a flip through before, and little Bruno was stuck in the bedroom with me and was like scratching to get out, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna let him out, and then I'm gonna shuffle and draw a card and read from the book for the camera. Come on, focus. How close do I have to get? Sorry if this is totally in your face. I just want my camera to like figure it out. wonder if part of the problem is that I have a really hard time holding these cards still. It's probably all me. Support, that's so pretty. Yeah, see, it's focusing. It just takes its sweet time. Anyways, Bruno was trying to get out, and I ended up filming the video in 2 parts, and I tried to smush them together, and it took like so long to process in my editing software that I was like, okay, come on, man. I'm just going to start over. Anyways, so I'd shuffled everything together so I could pull a card, which we will do in this video as well. I love this. Epiphany. And like you can, it's like that whole light bulb moment. Like, how can you not? But look at all the stuff happening in this silhouette. It's like a whole nature scene. It's just, there's not even really any words. This is so pretty. And I do really feel like I could pull this out at any time and just do a reading with it. I don't think I'd need to know any meanings. I think there's so much to go on. Cosmos. I don't know why it doesn't want to focus on the word. Resistance. And the imagery like really matches up with the keyword. I don't feel like there's any issue. Sometimes like when you get an oracle deck, you'll find that like, or I'll find rather, that the artwork has been selected after the fact. This protection card, I don't know, there's something about it with, I'll show you and you can tell me. I like the idea that she's holding this little like vulnerable lamb down at the bottom. I wonder if it's the metallic. Anyway, but she's got this like hand painted over her mouth, which is, to me, it's got a very particular connotation, and I don't know if that's the connotation that's intended here. You know what? Maybe I'll just read what it says. That was protection. There's a part of us that needs to feel protected, held safe, and be shepherded through difficult times. Rely on your inner guardian and ask your guides and spiritual helpers to hold you safe during times of fear and doubt. Trust in divine influence. I don't know, something about that card just keeps getting me, and I'm not sure if it's a good feeling or a bad feeling. But it feels like it's hitting me in some way. Upheaval. This looks like a tornado in the background is what I see when I look at this card. There's a lot in here too. I'll have to look at the exact number, but I think it's 66 or something, so it's almost the size. Plants and what plants can teach us. In each of these circles, you'll see, look at that. There's like, look at all the detail. So pretty. I love the earth card. So this is the elemental card for earth. And I love these sort of mushroomy things that are present in this card. Obstacle is, of course, a rock. Obstacle. But there's like these overlays and textures and just, I think the thing about artwork like this to me is that it seems so rich. Evolution. And there's something about that richness that just sort of draws me in. Uh-oh, I have to sneeze. I'm not even going to edit that out. You guys are going to make so much fun of me. Wisdom. I have the weirdest sneeze. It's like very mousy. Peggy calls them hamster farts. Accomplishment. See, even this, like oh, sorry. I'm making my camera work way too hard. That's probably why it's freezing, because yep, there it goes. La, 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 are you gonna unfreeze on me? It's like, Lisa, why you make me focus so hard? I'm just waiting for my camera to unfreeze. Come on. There it goes. It unfroze. Okay. I don't know if the freezing gets cut out when I put the video on YouTube or not, but I think sometimes it's working too hard. I love the little bunny up here. I think it's working too hard trying to do all the focusing stuff. And it's like, nah, man. I'm done now. Combustion. So clear. This healing card is also very clear. You can see that in the background here, she's actually like sewing something on, like maybe this design onto this other figure. Connection. Ugh. I love the colors in this, the blues and the browns. Mind you, there's a lot of browns and earth tones in this deck. Gifts. This reminds me of just a bunch of crystals and geodes and treasures. Gifts of the earth. Destruction. Sammy described this as lava, and I can't really unsee that now. I think it does look like lava to me. Grief. This card just gets me. I think it's that feeling of just like howling at the moon and just like letting it out. That feeling of purging the emotion. That's what that makes me think of. Influence. This makes me think of influences where things are sort of in our orbit, so to speak, where things are influencing us, whether or not we realize it. Those sort of peripheral influences. God, the textures in this card just get me. Oh my God. Attachment. I'm totally up way past my bedtime filming all the videos, but I really wanted to show this deck. Path. This makes me think of like spiritual path and the choices that we make. I don't know why. Not just like a physical path. Responsibility. Structure. I don't think there's any cards in here that I struggle to understand. Concealed. I love this with the iceberg and all the stuff lurking beneath. So clear. I also really love this. Okay, I've said that about like every card, but I really love the source card. You can see almost this idea of tapping into energy deep within the earth. That's what that makes me think of. So pretty. Phenomenon. This makes me think of, I don't know, eclipses and galaxies and, yeah, decay. I could see this as stagnation. The figures, when they show up in this deck, have a very vintagey feel to them, which I think is really appropriate in this deck. It doesn't pull you away from the otherworldliness or the earthiness of the deck. It just feels more appropriate than if they were more modern. Blocked. This is kind of like obstacle, the obstacle card with the stone, but like multiplied into a bigger energy. So I kind of like that you've got sort of both. Stillness. This card has some subdued colors to it that are really, really lovely. Moon. So beautiful. Fertility. Eruption. So this is the moment of explosion before the lava in that destruction card really gets moving. Erosion. Change over a long period of time. That kind of change that we don't even notice, it sort of creeps up on us. Multiverse. Oh my God, these cards. Here goes my camera. There we go. Multiverse. Beautiful. Underworld. Come on, like these cards. I love this card. This was literally the card. It was so funny. I was watching Samantha's video, and I think by the time she got to this card, maybe it was even sooner. I don't know. They were all, I don't remember how many cards. It was like 4 or 5 cards in, and I was ordering this deck. I was like, I have to have it. Fire. Beautiful. Mystery. Water. Productivity. So perfect, right? And anguish. It's a different feeling than grief. This This is something heavier in a way, more long-lasting. I don't know. So I'm going to give these a shuffle, and we will pull a card, and I will read it, and we will see what we think. So I would love to know your thoughts on this deck. I don't think it's getting a lot of attention at this point. Like I said, the first time I'd ever seen any reference to it was Samantha Menzo's video, which again I will link below. But what's interesting to me is that this artist is really local to me. Like, well, I'm in Vancouver, and she's located in the Seattle area, which is right near where my sister lives. So I couldn't believe I hadn't even heard of it before. So I would love to see this deck get more love on social media, because I think she deserves it. She's made a beautiful deck, and I think it's been around for a bit as well. But it shuffles really, really, really nice. Got no complaints, and it just feels like a deck that's going to last forever, which I love. Really, really nice. Rifle shuffle. I'm just going to cut it, and we'll pull a deck right off the top. So we got, oh, I flipped over two, so I guess it's still a little sticky. We got release. Okay, so I'm going to look that up, and then I'll hold the card up while I read it. So, there it is. Okay, so let me hold this up, and then I will read you what it says. Expansion takes place as we release expectations and worries to a higher power. Breathing deeply, we can enjoy the freedom of releasing pent-up energy and concerns that bind our mental and emotional resources. Let the universe hold the load that's been weighing you down. How lovely is that? Just like laying down the burden, the weight. So pretty. I love this. I really am going to enjoy working with this, and I hope to hear your thoughts as well. And I guess that's going to be it for this video. One last shuffle so that I can put it away. All nice and cleared. Perfect. Thank you so much for joining me so that I could show off my things. I really enjoy being able to do this in this platform and share these sort of treasures with you all. And I really look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.